Good morning, day 18. I've been hiking for about 4 hours. I just checked my distance for the day. I'll turn this around and start walking. I've gone 7 miles in 4 hours. Not quite 2 miles an hour. It's a bit slow, but there's been quite a number of ups and downs today, so that slows me down. Plus, I started the day with about 9 pounds of water. That's a big addition to your pack when you've been carrying on the order of 2 pounds of water. So it'll improve as the day goes on. I've been taking more breaks today than usual, having snacks, drinking, trying to keep my energy level up and pack weight on the decline. So I did get going a little bit earlier this morning than usual. I ended up sleeping in a cow pasture last night. That was pretty interesting. When I was starting to look for a campsite, I just kept walking and walking and walking, and every 10 minutes I'd come across a new or different handful of cows eating their dinner, making a mess of the field. So at one point I just had as much as I could handle for distance and energy level, so I found a spot off in the corner, put up my tent, and then listened for cows. I don't know what they would do if they were meandering and they came across a tent. Would they politely walk around it? Or would they blindly just kind of step onto it? I wasn't very interested in finding out, so by the time I went to bed, I wasn't hearing any more mooing, so I figured they were settled for the night. So I set my alarm and got up a little bit early this morning. I wanted to be packed up by dawn, so hopefully I didn't have to find out what they would do if they came wandering past. And that worked. I didn't see any cows where I was camping. Probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes into my hike, I came across more. So they were definitely out there. But I didn't have any nighttime encounters, so that was good. So what you're seeing now, this is forest hiking. The different forests as I've gone along the trail have been somewhat different, some different characteristics, but this is pretty typical. Live trees standing, dead trees standing, and the forest floor just piled with old dead trees. It's no wonder that the fires are crazy here once they get started. There's so much fuel. All right, going uphill. losing my breath. I'll talk to you again a little later. I stopped to take a break on this climb. Someone decided I overstayed my welcome. I don't see him, but he's in one of those trees over there. It's evening here, about 5:45. I just got up to the top of a ridge. Just barely got to the top of the ridge. I was really wiped. So I stopped and ate the bulk of my dinner. So between the sitting down for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, plus getting some food in my belly, that gives me a bit more energy. I'm gonna hike somewhere around another, I'll say 30 minutes to an hour. Kind of depends on what I find for campsites. I don't want to go too late tonight, but when I'm feeling good, I like to get the miles on. So one thing I was contemplating earlier today, the trail has changed in a couple ways. One way is that the last 3-4 days, it doesn't show it right now. Now it's a beautiful trail, easy hiking, but there's been a lot of really rocky sections, loose rocks up and down hills. It's hard both ways. I've slipped countless times going downhill, even when I'm being careful. I haven't hit the ground yet, thankfully. I've been able to catch myself with my feet or my poles. That's still a pretty immense effort to catch yourself from falling when you've got a 25-pound backpack on. But part of the reason for the rockiness is that this section, ever since the video where I showed my tent up on a high ridge, was that 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, I forget. Well, since that point, not only are mountain bikes allowed on the trail, but dirt bikes are allowed, motorized dirt bikes. So I'm all for everyone having whatever kind of fun they enjoy, and they say it's fine for the trail, so it's fine for the trail. But both mountain bikes and dirt bikes put some pressure on the trail because they're putting power through a wheel to push them up the hill, or they're hitting their brakes going down the hill. Both behaviors have a tendency to tear out the smaller rocks, and it just makes it harder for hiking. So I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that's what it is. So the other thing that has changed in the last 4 days probably, I'm practically the only person out here. I've met, I don't recall the other couple days, but yesterday I met one through hiker. We hiked together for probably half the day. His name was Pep. If that gives you any indication, I was thinking about the time I spent with him, and I like to say he adopted me because he caught up to me while I was taking a break mid-morning, and then we got to chatting, and then we were hiking and chatting, and he adjusted his pace so that we would stay together. Worked out fine. He had a lot to talk about, which was interesting. I was happy for that. And I didn't have any breath for talking back to him, so it worked out pretty good. Kind of like here where I have a hard time getting words out going up the hill. But anyhow, after a while in the evening, when I was getting ready to stop and make some food, he took off, and I'm sure I won't see him again. But it was enjoyable, very enjoyable, but he was the only through hiker I met that day. And typically, I've been hiking with or near 2 or 3 or 4 others, often camping with them at night. So all of a sudden, it was just him. Today was even more sparse. I've only seen one other through hiker. He passed me while I was stopping, taking a break. He was not interested in talking. I said hello in my most friendly and inviting voice. He gave me a nod and kept on going. So he was definitely on a mission. So that's 2 hikers in 2 days. Very unusual. I don't know if I just happen to be out of sync with other hikers now, or maybe we're to the point where some of the people I was hiking near, maybe they dropped off. I don't know, but just a difference. Lots of time for me to be contemplating what I'm doing out here, what's coming up, and how things are going. So one of the ways things are going is I'm still having to conserve my phone power, well, my electronic power overall. So less video over the past couple days, and probably the next handful until I get into the town of Lake City. I'll talk to you all later.